But before I actually go in and talk about what some of my takeaways were, I'd actually like to hear from some of you. What did you get out of it? Yes?
A goal is a dream with a deadline. I like that.
Great. What else?
All right.
Any other takeaways anybody have? Yes?
What I thought was so amazing about it was he pretty much taught himself all of that, and then it kind of goes back to The Secret, where he put it down, he visualized it, he had it there on his dresser, the castle, his book, all of it.
He totally manifested what he wanted. He was so incredibly passionate about his goal inside of him and the fire and everything in him. He's like, I don't even have a master. I'm renting this hall on my own in the middle of a village in the middle of nowhere. And I want to go to the magic castle and I want to be the star magician. When he was at the prayer wall, that's what I want to be. That's who I am. That's the level at which I'm going to compete in this world. That is the level at which I am going to play full out. And I think that that is a challenge for us today as people, as individuals who live on the planet, but also as people who are here being creative with an art. We're not just doing hair. We are creating for people. Sometimes we're creating their entire day. We're creating a look for them. We're creating a lifestyle for them. We are in a creative role with what we're doing here. And we can totally manifest how we're going to work in that parameter. We can manifest how we're going to play with our teammates, how we're going to be in collaboration. We can find the magic in our life every single day, and we can manifest that simply by what we are telling ourselves in our head. And what was interesting to me about that was when he was looking at the pictures of the Magic Castle and he was Googling, what happens at this competition, he was in awe of her. She was a competitor that he was in awe of. And yet, at the very end of the day, we're all still very human and very, very real things happen to us. And failures happen, and we have a bad day or we have a bad client. It's about how we're going to deal with what's coming across our plate. The other thing that I thought was very, very amazing too was the audience reaction to their greatness, to their brilliance. And your audience is everybody who sits in your chair. And their reaction to your creativity is how brightly they shine when they get up to go. And when you're not on, people know it. They can sense your energy. They know whether you're present with them. They know whether you have the highest intention for them in their day and in what they're doing and what you're up to, about what you're creating with them. People know that, and so it's a very powerful place where you come from every day, where you can create somebody's mood. You can create how their day is going to go, maybe even their month or their year. That you could be doing their hair just before an interview. You could be doing their hair just before a wedding. You're creating a memory and a moment for them. That's magic. One of the other things for me that I think was very interesting was Derek said, with magic, you can influence 1,000 people a day. You can make them happy. And I thought, wow, what are the implications of that? Just as people in this world, our presence and what we're up to has an impact. And so how many people are we willing and able to make happy during a day? So that's an interesting thing, because we have the potential to create so many possibilities. And one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to actually just have a volunteer, if I could get a volunteer to come up for a short moment and to just actually ask you some questions. And the point of this would be how you can apply this in your personal lives. And if you came from a premise like this, what could be possible for you? So here's a presupposition. Doesn't mean it's true. And it's not that I'm up here saying this is absolutely true, this is a fact. I'm just saying this is a presupposition, and this is one of the things that I coach from. I coach from a presupposition like this. Presupposition goes like this. What if you thought everyone was doing their best every day, all the time, with the resources they had? What would then become possible for you? No, you believed everybody everybody you meet,
I do believe everybody I meet.
is always doing their best.
Here
Always.
or
Everywhere.
in my life?
Everywhere. Let's just say everywhere. Let's just say it's a presupposition. If you could
Then I would
believe,
take them at face value.
you would take them at face value, and what would that mean?
Assuming that they were on and they were having a wonderful day and this was them at their best moment.
No, just daily life. If you could believe that everyone was always doing their best,
Then I would
what would
assume
be
that's-
possible for you in your life? What would be possible?
You would be at your best.
I have to be at my best all the time then. Is that it?
No. There's actually no right or wrong. There's no judgment or anything. There's actually really no answer to it. But if we could believe, as people, if you could believe that everybody was doing their best, what now becomes possible for you?
For me to do my best also.
Okay.
And depend on other people.
Okay, you can depend on them.
And to have to do my best so I'm just as good as them.
Okay. Would you be able to actually trust other people? If they were always doing their best and
Well, their best might not be my best though.
if they were always doing their best and you could believe they were always doing their best.
Their best?
Best.
That's not necessarily our best though. 'Cause I know people that do their best. And that's not
What
our
if
best.
you believe that that person who was not doing what you consider, you're judging the best? What if
Yes.
you weren't judging the best?
Okay.
What
Yes,
if
you could trust them. That's correct.
if you
I
weren't
agree with
judging the best? So then there wouldn't be any judgment about it.
They were
right?
just a 10, period, right?
Right.
Yes.
If everybody was a 10 and you could believe everybody was a 10, what now becomes possible for you?
Like the invention of lying. Have you seen that movie?
What becomes possible though? What
You can
becomes,
trust everybody.
and
And depend on them
anything
and
becomes
live happy.
right. Anything now becomes possible for you, right? You can trust people. You can depend on them. There's no judgment. There's perfect acceptance. So let's think about that in terms of where you work. You don't have to tell me, but get a vision of some process or person where you feel like, that's not its best. Don't look at people.
Oh, I have a vision.
Don't look at people.
No. I'm actually, I have a vision, let's just say that.
Okay, no, you
We
don't
all
have to
do.
tell any of us who it is or what
Okay.
it is, okay?
All right.
But you have this vision of whatever it is that you don't think is its best. What if you could transform that so you could feel that?
Everybody's like nervous for me to look at them right now.
Just look at me. Look at me.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What if you could take that particular event or person or situation or whatever it was? What if you could reframe that right now and you could say, that was absolutely the best and it served me. It served everybody. It served me. It served everybody.
Are you asking if I could pretend like it was the
Yes,
best, or
yes.
if it was, like if that situation? was
Either
ever-
way, if you could pretend, if you can't do it for real, pretend that it was its best, and now what's possible for you at work, in your job? What's now possible, or with that person, or that process?
Let me do it. To not worry about it. To be more carefree.
Okay. What
Not be
else?
as concerned.
Okay. So what does that do for you then? If you're all of those things, does that help you in some way?
Absolutely.
How does that help you?
It lets me operate at my best.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What was interesting was even after he won, he said, oh my gosh, now I have to step it up.
Yeah.
Now I have all of these people that if I don't step it up, I'm going to disappoint their trust and faith in me. There's a powerful thought.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is an important thing. I don't know if anybody in here has ever read the 4 Agreements. One of the agreements is always do your best, but remember your best changes from day to day. So be a little forgiving of yourselves too. Put forth your best effort and do your best, but remember it. Your best changes from moment to moment. And one of the things I particularly liked about the whole story with Kristen was she was this high achiever. Everybody thought she was going to succeed, do all this other stuff. And then she did. She got that setback. And her way of handling that was, it's going to set her for life how she's going to be able to handle things. Because up until that time, she had no experience with failure or things not going well. And I think so many of the times in our lives, if we have had this nice sailing run at things, we go, great, no problem, life is a breeze. But I think it's in those moments when we fall down, it's what do we do? How do we respond as people? And I think sometimes, things can go wrong. I'm sure you have the clients from hell, or things just aren't working or breaking. Today we had like equipment hell, techno hell, video hell going on. It's like, what are you going to do at that moment? Are you going to allow that moment to define you? Or are you going to find your magic? Are you going to find your greatness? Are you going to come through no matter what's happening?